Happy New Year to my wonderful podcast family. How on that day? I'm really sorry that it's been a while since I popped in here. Trust me, it was not my intention to just up and leave. I've really missed you guys. So, how are we doing? I'm so happy that we are finally in 2026, and honestly, there's a whole lot. But before we get into that conversation, I think it's very important I tell you what I've been up to. Basically, this episode is all about just it's just a sort of reflection on the year that has passed, 2025. I'll be sharing some of the things that went well, some of the things that didn't go well, my goals for 2026, things from 2025 I'm carrying into 2026. Yeah, basically that's all I'll be sharing with you today, and I'll be so excited if you could listen in. Okay, so before we get into it, why exactly did I disappear from this podcast? Hmm. Nigeria has been happening to me. Let me just give you guys the tea, right? So I started this podcast in July, and then by September, midway, because I was really consistent, I was posting every week. I was really happy about it. I have a lot of episodes that I've recorded with wonderful guests that I'm even yet to publish on here. And by September, I made my first international trip. I traveled to Ghana. Okay. I traveled to Ghana for the first time. So, in case you don't know, my parents live in Ghana. They moved to Kumasi, Ghana in 2022. And ever since they moved, I've not visited them. I have three younger siblings that live with them, three sisters, and I've not seen them. So in August, my dad turned 60, and I was I wanted to just pay them a visit. I thought we were going to have like a birthday for my dad and all of that. But somehow, by the time I checked out the prices of transportation, because honestly, the reason I had not even traveled all this year was because I did not want to use road to go to Ghana. Like, your girl was manifesting airplane. So 2022, 2023, 2024, ah, it didn't come. Oh. So I just finally said, you know what? There's no how I will stay 3 years and I won't see my family. So let me just find out how much it is by road. I mean, I'm already in Lagos. So Lagos to Ghana shouldn't be so much of a problem. So I made inquiries. I went to my two park. I did the whole research, and honestly, the prices of the transport was already more than what I had budgeted. I thought jale jale 100K I should take me there, but by the time I went there, it was running above that. So I just decided that, well, I'm not going anymore. But since I'd already mentioned it to my mom, she was like, "No, you're still coming." So they shall raise money, and I went to Ghana and I spent 2 weeks with my family. Maybe one day I would make a separate episode about that, but that's not the focus of today. So, you know how Ghana people always yab us Nigerians about how we don't have light, and they are not wrong, because for 2 weeks that I spent in Ghana, lights no off one day. Oh, lights no off one day. Like, get time when we need light, when lights no day. For real, for real. So I went in with that mindset that, okay, I'm going to Ghana. They have electricity. They are better than Nigeria in terms of this. So that should not be a problem. What I did not think about is I didn't know that there were parts of Ghana where the network wasn't good. So I I don't know, for people that are well traveled, correct me if I'm wrong, or really correct me if I'm wrong, because I've only been to one place and I went to Kumasi, Ghana. I don't know what Accra is like. But from the moment I stepped my foot in Kumasi, first of all, my Nigerian network stopped working, which is absolutely normal. But by the time I even got another SIM card, a Ghana SIM card, the network didn't work. The network wasn't working. Data is more expensive in Ghana than it is in Nigeria. It was still MTN, but it wasn't working. I tried everything I could. It wasn't working. First week, second week in Ghana, my network wasn't working. I managed to eventually post one episode, which was the last one I posted 3 times. I started and failed because I had already recorded that. Omo, it was a fight too. So I just generally came back home. And sometime in when was that? I think that was in August. Sometime in August, my electricity in my area got bad. This story, I don't even know how to get into this story without getting emotional because since 2021, when I started out this journey of like self-discovery, started out this journey of like trying to be an entrepreneur, started out this journey of like trying to build the life that I wanted, trying to do the things that I love in order to become the person I want to be. Electricity has been one of the biggest factors that have hindered me. I used to live in Port Harcourt. It was the same thing. Electricity was nowhere to be found. When I recently moved to Lagos, I was in Badagry. It was the same thing. And upon moving to this side of Lagos, which I thought that, okay, it's all going to be better. And it was better. I won't even lie. It was so good. I moved in around November, and then by the light was really constant. After 6 months, I was like, this gen has just been lying around. I'll probably sell it and buy a fridge since there's always light. Guess what, ladies? As soon as I sold that fridge, just a month after, lights got bad. And up till now, I'm recording this on the 6th of January, 2026. So lights that spoiled in August 2025 hasn't been fixed yet. If it's not village people, tell me what the problem is. So practically September, October, November, December, I don't have lights. And so it is this podcast. It takes time, it takes time because I'm no expert. I have to sit down, listen to every clip, cut it bit by bit. So that's why it's very important to me that you listen and you enjoy and you share so that we can grow. So it takes me at least 4 or 5 hours to edit an episode. And without lights, how am I supposed to be editing? The small lights I managed to have when I charge my laptop and all, I try to use it and do my office projects that will actually pay me because I know this podcast will pay, but it's actually not paying now. So that's honestly the reason why I haven't been consistent here. But I hope to do better this year. I really, really hope to do better because I don't want to use this no lighting as an excuse. I I've decided to like find an alternative solution to the light issue. So that's actually why I stopped posting on the podcast. So with that out of the way, let's get into my 2025 and what went well. Genuinely, I would say my 2025 was my year of clarity and doing. And there's a number of reasons why I would say this. I don't know if I'm the only one that struggles with this, but I believe I'm not the only one. But it was just last year, 2025, that I learned of the term. It's called multi-passionate. I've always heard of, multi-potentialites, multi-talented, but the use of that word multi-passionate, it just sank home for me. These are people who are passionate about several things at the same time. Sometimes equally passionate about everything. That is me. I'm passionate about so much. I'm passionate about media. I'm passionate about mental health. I'm passionate about medicine. I'm passionate about education. I'm passionate about what else? There's so many things I'm passionate. I'm passionate about writing. I'm passionate about storytelling. There's so many things that I'm passionate about. And a lot of times, this is a problem because you don't even know which one you want to do and which one you want to leave. And leaving one feels like you're doing a disfavor to this one, and it's always very hard. But I saw a video last year on TikTok by Ebu. Shout out to Ebu for that video. I think I'll link it in the description. And that video made it make sense. We all know that saying of Jack of all trades, master of none. And Ebu said that the fool statement is jack of all trades, master of all is oftentimes better than a master of one. And I was like, what? And if we look back at the people that existed before us, because we live in a world that is so obsessed with niching down. Like, once you're trying to do several things that they say, everybody's like, niche down, focus on one thing, not distract your audience, especially in this social media age. But what if I am the niche? Because human beings are very multifaceted. Human beings have different aspects to them. There is no human being that their entire existence is just social media marketing. There is no human being that their entire existence is just food vlogging. There are so many things that some of them are moms, some of them are wives, some of them are business women. Yes, they have a food business, and being an entrepreneur is a whole ball game altogether. It's different from food vlogging. Some of them are academics. They're trying to pursue their masters, their PhD. These are different facets to one person. So when you say niche down, especially for someone like me, it's like tying me rope. But somehow last year, 2025, I was able to identify the three areas I want to be playing in at this stage of my life. And those three areas are: one, writing and storytelling. I've always been very passionate about writing. I've always loved writing. I've been writing since when I was 6. And I don't ever see myself not writing. And I feel like I don't even write enough. I want to write every day. I want to write blogs. I want to write books. I want to write movies. There's so much I want to write. So yes, writing and multimedia storytelling is something I'm really, really passionate about. That's one pillar. Another pillar is career branding. Career branding. So for those who do not know, I also offer CV writing services. Beyond CV writing, anything job hunting. If you're someone who is trying to find a job, who is trying to land a job, that is something I can help with. I offer CV writing, cover letter writing, LinkedIn profile optimization, job search management, job interview preparation, and so on and so forth. And fortunately, I was able to, through the help of TAFTA, I was able to have my business registered last year. So I have an official business name, and I am now a CEO. Okay. Let's be serious here. But that's something I'm really passionate about, because in 2021, when I started out my career, when I started out trying to find jobs on the internet, I didn't even know what to do. And I know that there are so many people who were once like me who don't even know what to do. Fresh graduates, um, entry level job seekers, NYSC corpers, they don't even know what to do in order to land a job. And that is where my business comes in. The third pillar that I had clarity on last year was mental health education and advocacy. Mental health is something I've always been very passionate about. I've always wondered why mental health isn't taken seriously in this part of the world. And that was what led me into the path of trying to become a medical doctor, trying to become a psychiatrist, and led me into becoming a pharmacy dropout and yada yada yada. Yeah, everything else on that line. But last year I discovered that I don't necessarily need to be a psychiatrist in order to make impact in the world of mental health. And that was why I started out Mutation Monthly series, where we have conversations around our mental health. And yeah, it was fun for the 10 months that we had the conversations, and I hope to still do more of that in the coming year. Okay, so having said that, what are the things that went well in my 2025? Okay, the first thing that went well in 2025 was that I hosted Mutation Monthly series from January to October. So it was a monthly talk show event where we just come and talk about issues that affect our mental health. Trust me, hosting an event in Lagos is not easy, no matter how small it is. And I bore the responsibility of hosting that event from day one to the last day. Talk about all the logistics involved. Talk about making of the marketing flyer that we often use. It's my money. Talk about getting a venue to use. Shout out to my church, Royalty Assembly Lagos, for giving me a place. I wouldn't have been able to do that without them. And yeah, basically trying to invite people. Sometimes you practically have to beg people. Sometimes you have to promise them that you will give them transport money if they come. Ah, have we let's even talk about the day that nobody showed up. That was in September 2020 five. Trust me, hosting an event is not easy. So I'm really glad that I didn't let anything discourage me and I kept hosting Mutation Monkey series from January to October. Another thing that went well in 2025 was that I don't know. We can say we I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know if I should say it went well or it did not go well. So let me just give you a little background story, right? So in 2024, in 2024, I left a 4-year relationship. I left a 4-year relationship. And this was someone I thought was the love of my life. This was someone I thought I was going to do life with, like forever and ever and ever. You get the gist, right? And when that relationship ended, it broke me. It broke me in ways that words cannot describe. And when it ended, I discovered that I had been idolizing this person. I'd been idolizing my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend for a very long time. And before we got into the relationship, I was very committed to my relationship with God because there are so many things I want to talk about on this podcast. So many, 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 many things. See, my childhood was rough. I know I've probably said it on the episode of The Power of Healing. I think I mentioned it. My childhood was extremely rough. From age 4, I started experiencing child sexual abuse. So, and then as a teenager, there was masturbation. It was a fight for my life. And when I say God helped me, I'm not even kidding you. I remember recently I started listening to Cheesy Duru. Shout out to you for your wonderful podcast. And Cheesy talked about how she got saved and her addiction to marijuana disappeared. Trust me, it's it's not even a lie. If you experience salvation, if Jesus comes into your life, he takes away a lot of things. I'm not even trying to preach. Trust me, I'm not even trying to preach. But when Jesus came into my life, he took away masturbation addiction because I don't even try to say it's masturbation. It was addiction. And if anyone has ever dealt with addiction, you know, addiction is not an easy thing. So Jesus took away masturbation addiction from me. And I was really working on building that relationship with him. God used to talk to me. I used to hear his voice. And, you know, it was just a beautiful communion. Till relationship entered the group chats, and as someone with an obsessive personality okay, I won't say an obsessive personality disorder, but as someone who has an obsessive personality, I fell head over heels in love with this person. And somehow my relationship with God took a back chair, especially after we now started engaging in, you know what, yeah. So it's I was just like, oh my God, I cannot face God. I've gone very far away. The promises I made to God, I've broken all of them. So as a result of that, let me just be where I am. That was what I told myself. That was how I felt. And when that relationship ended, I realized how far away from God I had gone. And it was only God that could help me at that point, and I went back to God. And when I went back to God, God started telling me why I needed to heal, why healing was important. And that was how the conversation around Mutation 25 began. Healing, writing our emotional DNA. And when God had taken me through that healing journey, he told me to go and teach others the same things that he has taught me and help them heal. So I started planning Mutation 25 even back in 2024. Like that was when I knew that Mutation 25 was going to happen. I worked on, and God gave me a number of names. I reached out to them. but I was heavily depending on brands. And unfortunately, Mutation 25 did not hold because we didn't have a venue, we didn't have money, speakers did not respond. I guess we reached out to them late anyway. I take full responsibility for that. But just attempting to host that event, an event of that magnitude, because you might be wondering what's the difference between Mutation 25 and Mutation Monthly Series. So Mutation Monthly Series are like the smaller events. Why Mutation 25 was supposed to be the bigger thing, was supposed to be the conference, was supposed to be the grand finale with multiple speakers and just something very big. So unfortunately, Mutation 25 did not happen. It was scheduled to happen on my birthday last year, 22nd of November. It didn't happen. But I'm really glad that I pushed myself. I felt what it's like to host an event in Lagos. And trust me, it's not easy. I reached out to speakers, reached out to performers, reached out to sponsors, and there are a lot of lessons my team and I learned that hopefully this year, when we host Mutation 26, which is still the same thing anyway, the events we couldn't have last year, if we're able to have it this year, there are a lot of lessons we learned that we are carrying over into the new year. So I'm really glad that I gave it a shot. I'm really glad that I was not too scared to try, even though I didn't achieve my end results. At least the attempt taught me a whole lot. What else went well in 2025? Something else that went well was that when I started out the conversations around my mental health nutrition monthly series, I didn't just want to like be talking, for my own lived experiences. I wanted to also speak from an educated point of view, and I set out to take 10 mental health courses and get certified. And last year, 2025, I was able to complete 4 courses and I got certified, including diploma in mental health, diploma in social and is it social care, and then a diploma in cognitive behavioral therapy and an advanced diploma in cognitive behavioral therapy. I all took these courses on Allison. I was unable to continue as the year got tougher, but I'm really glad that those were new additions to me. And that goal I had for 2025 was that I wanted to become an international student. I wanted to travel to France and study medicine. So, beginning part of the year, I did research a lot of scholarship opportunities and visa requirements for studying in France as an international student. Something else I'm proud of from 2025 is that I finally started this podcast. Yay! Okay. Yes, I'm really proud that I started. I'm not proud that from September till December I didn't post an episode, but I'm proud that I have this digital real estate. And I promise you guys that this year we are going to bring a lot of hot episodes your way. Trust me. Okay, I got my mic, tripod stand, and ring lights. All these excuses we make up now when we're trying to start content creation. I don't have a mic. I don't have a tripod stand. I don't have a ring light. Okay, your girl got all of those in 2025, so I'm also proud of that. Something else is that I got my international passport. I cannot even tell you how long I've wanted to have an international passport. I think since 2023 I've been trying, but finally in 2025 I got an international passport, and I didn't just only get a passport and the passport was lying down there. I made my first international trip. So yes, my passport has been stamped. I traveled to Ghana. So that's something I'm also very proud of from 2025. And I also started learning how to speak and write French, still learning French, because obviously I wanted to go to France. And one of the requirements for traveling to France is that you have to pass your French proficiency test. So at a point, I used to have a French tutor who I paid for about 2 months, and I continued learning on Duolingo. Would I say I've made so much progress? I really do not know. I really don't think so. But I try my best to practice every day. Although people have said Duolingo is not that effective, and I think they are right. No, I don't want to even. I'm not trying to talk down on the brand or anything, but Some people have recommended more effective ways of learning the language, which I think is right. So I'm going to explore some of those options in the coming year because France or not, your girl has to learn a foreign language. Okay. Okay. So something else I achieved in 2025 was that I started learning script writing and I even got a certificate from TAFTA. This is like the second time I'm mentioning TAFTA. So TAFTA is Terra Academy for the Arts. That's what it's called. Led by BA BA what? BAP Bolanle Austin Peters. She's like a very wonderful visionary woman and a theatrist. Yeah, so you can check out TAFTA. They do a lot of awesome work. Um, One thing else I achieved this year was that I had clarity on what exactly I wanted out of life. It's not like I've not always known, but in 2025 it got really clearer, and I'm happy for that. Another thing is that I spoke at 7 events last year. Yay! Shout out to all the brands that invited me. Some of the events, I did mental health talks for some of the events. I spoke on career branding. So yeah, it was really nice just meeting new people, speaking at different spaces, and just sharing my ideas with the world. So I really had fun, and I hope we have more of that this year. I was in my young adult film and medical drama era. I actually posted a Medium blog on my favorite movies and series of 2025. And guess what? The list was like 60 movies. It's like the only thing I did last year was watch film. But it's not like that's the only thing I did. But as an obsessed babe, that's what we do. As someone who gets obsessed with things. So yeah, last year was like I was in that YA and medical drama era. The Good Doctor, um the Resident. Oh my god, these movies blew my mind away. Bob Hatsabisola. Oh my god. Really, really wonderful films, like really, really wonderful series. I kept watching them. I couldn't get over them. For the young adults films, shout out to Neptune 3 Studios, Determina Sisters. You girls are so, so awesome. Thank you for what you do in the world. I am so obsessed. Like, I am so obsessed with everything you create. Thank you. Thank you for giving us young adult films in Nigeria. And I discovered that Ruth Kadiri also started her own young adult TV. I think it's called Purple Flower. And I binge watched all the technically everything on that channel. I've watched it except new ones that were posted this January. But I've watched Campus Chronicles, was really interesting. Kenzie and Annabelle and the rest of them. It was really awesome watching that. Um so saw some films with Chidi DK. Yeah, it was really nice. Really, really nice. I love young adult films basically and medical drama. So yeah, I was in that era last year. I'm so proud of this one. I worked on my relationship with God in 2025 and I was a committed member at church. Because for the last like 4 years when I was in that relationship, my relationship with God was very, very shaky. Like my relationship with God was almost non-existent. I stopped going to church. There were just a lot of things that I just stopped doing just because I was now in a relationship. So yeah. So I worked on my relationship with God. I thank God for my church, Royalty Assembly Lagos. They really helped to like build up my spiritual life. And even last year, I even taught Sunday school, I think 2, 3 times. I'm so proud of that because the last 4 years, I've not done anything remotely close to that. And this hinges to the next point, which is that I was celibate for most parts of the year. I'm going to be very honest about this one because, like I already mentioned, my childhood was tough. Being a victim of child sexual abuse was really hard. So, sex has been like a recurring factor in my life. Whether it's sex that I want or sex that I don't want, it has really been a recurring factor. And for the from 2020 till 2024, when I was in a relationship, I had a boyfriend and sex was something that could easily happen. And even after we broke up, I found someone else and the circle just continued like that. But in 2025, I made a decision that I was going to not have sex with anybody. Was I crazy when I said that? I was not crazy, but girls, girls, we need to, we need to learn it. We need to learn it. Celibacy is such a good thing. It's such a good thing. It helps you. Before then, I used to use sex to clear my head, but I'm just in such a very good place that if I'm struggling with anything, I would talk to God because He's the one that made me. So why am I trying to use sex to clear my head? Yes, so shout out to Cheesy too for being honest. Your honesty inspires me to stay honest, Cheesy. So yeah, it was a struggle. Um Sometime in February I fell, and sometime in November again I fell, but that was all. That was all for 2025, just twice, 2025. And by God's grace, God knows my heart. In 2026, I want it to be 12 over 12, like the 12 months in the year, nothing. Like, I want it to be nothing. And that two times in 2025 is like a very huge improvement to what I used to be. But I'm not even going to get into that. Maybe one day we'll talk about sex, but like today's episode is not all about that. But yes, I was celibate for most of the year, and I'm incredibly proud of myself for that. And I'm also grateful to God for helping me. And like I already mentioned earlier, my business got registered. Sometimes I struggle. I don't know. I sometimes I call it my CV writing business. Other times I call it my career branding business. It's a career branding business, and it can get bigger than that. But people do not exactly understand what career branding is. So in order to make it easy, I just say my CV writing business. But yeah, whatever it is, my business got registered, and super soon you'll be hearing more about my business and what we're trying to build. Something else that happened in 2025 was that I got admission to study public health at Miva Open University. Oh my God. Oh my God, girls, 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 girls. I cannot even lie. This one shocked me. Previously, I thought Mutation 25 was going to be the peak of my year. But getting this admission, it was such an emotional moment for me. I already mentioned that my goal for 2025 was that I wanted to gain admission to study medicine in a French university. It's even on my 2025 vision board. There's an admission letter on my vision board. So when I got the admission letter from Miva, a day after I applied, I was like, this admission letter, there's something distinct about this letter. And then I looked at my vision board and I saw an admission letter. I was like, So I actually manifested this admission letter. So yes, your girl is now a student too. I have I've paid my tuition fee. So yeah, I'm a public health student. I know you'll be wondering why did I go for public health? There were three things. There were three courses I was looking, because after all these years of trying to become a medical doctor, trying to become a psychiatrist, I have to sit to myself and ask myself, what are the other alternatives? Because that's one thing I've learned from my friend Amarachi. Amarachi will always want to go for the easier alternative. It's not like I cannot become a doctor. It's not like I cannot become a psychiatrist. But getting into medical school, it's a competition. So let's start from what is very easy and what is possible. So I had three options. There was public health, there was psychology, or social work. So the plan for public health was that if I get my BSc in public health, I'll do my master's in mental health science, do my PhD in global mental health, and I'm settled for life. Or do a BSc in psychology, MSc in clinical psychology, PhD in clinical psychology, or go through the social work route and specialize in mental health. These were the options I had, and I applied, and I am now a public health student. So I'm so grateful to God for helping me achieve that. And I know that 2026 is just going to be an awesome year. as 100 level student. Again, okay, something else I'm very proud of is that I had a stable paycheck from February till December 2025. For the last 4 or 5 years since I started out my journey as a freelancer, as an online entrepreneur, 2025 was the very first time where every month I got a paycheck from February to December. Previously, I would have a job 2, 3 months, the job will end, and I was still like 2, 3 months without a job before something else come. But in 2025, it was quite stable. I got a job with ROC, and every month I got paid, and my life significantly improved as a result of that. I also made peace with two of my former best friends. And, it just felt so good because one thing about adulthood is just how much you just lose friends. And a lot of times it's just over little things. But yeah, I made peace with my friends. And I also hired people in 2025. My first PA, PCKchi. Yeah, I was able to work with her. I think we worked for like 2 months. And then I also hired another PA, Adeola. We worked for a month. So being able to hire people, I mean, that was new. That was an achievement. And I know it's just the beginning of so many, 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 many things that are going to be coming. So that leads me to the next session. What are some of the things that did not go well in 2025? I didn't host Mutation 25. On the 22nd of October 2025, I was on a call with my team, and we realized that it was a month to the event and we had no venue, we had no speakers, people had not signed up, and we didn't even have the money to, like, because if you have money in a month, there's a whole lot you can do in order to push people to attend an event. And we just had to tell ourselves the truth that if we went on with this, the event was going to be a total disaster. So as a result of that, we made an announcement across our different channels that we were going to postpone the event to 2026. Was it painful? Yes, no. My world rocked. It felt like, oh my God, I've been I don't know what example to use that wouldn't sound off, but the only thing I'm just thinking about is like, um this thing that comes to my mind is like people who are intimate, or people who are having a sort of people who are trying to have sex or are having sex, and then the people, they are being stimulated, and just that point where you're about to climax, the action stops. That's the only way to describe this thing. My world shut down. Like, I felt like I didn't even know who I was anymore because I'd built my whole identity to hosting Mutation 25. So it's something that didn't really go well. And I really hope that this year, 2026, we're able to have Mutation 26. And I really hope it's going to be a success. No, I don't hope. I know it's going to be a success. Okay, I didn't learn how to speak French till C1 proficiency. That was my goal for 2025. I wanted to learn French to C1 proficiency, like full professional proficiency. I know I can't get to native or bilingual, but like learn how to speak the language and also write my French proficiency test. I didn't do that last year. I also didn't get admission to study medicine at a French university, but thankfully, I got admission to study public health at the first private Nigerian Open University. I am so excited about starting out this journey at Miva. You guys have no idea. I didn't learn how to drive and I didn't get my driver's license. It was on my goals for 2025. I didn't transition because I was so sick and tired of social media management and digital marketing. I wanted to pivot to a different career. I wanted to go into HR and project management. I did not pivot. I didn't scale my business, my CV writing business, to 10K dollars in monthly recurring revenue. When I said this goal, I don't know what I was on. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know what I was smoking because I know I was not smoking, but ah, $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue. It's not impossible, but I feel like it's a goal I can achieve if I focus 100% on my business. But I don't know if I can focus 100% on my business. I don't just want to I don't just want to only be known as a CB writing girl. There's so much I want to do in this my one life. So yeah, I didn't achieve that. I didn't become a full-time content creator. I wanted to do this content thing and be serious about it because I've seen content creation change people's life and I know I have what it takes to be a success. But yeah, I didn't become a full-time content creator. I didn't succeed with my freelance writing career either. I had a relationship breakup. I had 3 friendship breakups plus lots of blocking. Let's talk a little bit about this one. So, I moved to Lagos in 2023 July, and my ex-boyfriend, who had been with since 2020, was in Port Harcourt. So I left Port Harcourt and moved to Lagos. And when I moved, I met someone, and this someone and I got really close, and but I couldn't exactly like get into a relationship with him because I was still head over heels in love with my ex. So when the breakup happened and a lot of months had passed, I'd done my healing journey. In November 2024, he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I said yes. So from November 2024, December 2024, January 2025, I was in a relationship. But by February 2025, when the butterfly and everything had gone down, I discovered that I was in this relationship for like the wrong reasons. This person was a nice person, but I wasn't exactly so in love with him. He was a good guy. He was kind to me. He was sweet, but I just wasn't in love with him. He was in love with me, but I was not in love with him. And it felt like it didn't feel it didn't feel okay that, because I know what I am like when I'm in love with someone. Because I was in love with someone for 4 years. So I know what it's like. And I felt it wasn't fair to him. So I ended the relationship in February. And yeah, that was how that relationship breakup was not easy because we had a lot of things going on. He was really supportive with my Mutation Monty series and so many other things that he was helping out with, but it just had to end and it ended. And 3 friendship breakups in 2023. I shall not go into those details, but yeah, I lost 3 friends in 2025. Sorry, I lost 3 friends in 2025. I blocked a lot of people. I blocked a lot of people. Oh my god! See, anything that's going to drain my energy, anything that's going to stress me, block button was created for a reason. Especially men, I blocked a lot of people. You cannot come and be stressing me. Oh, okay. I was not consistent with my exercise routine. I started exercising in January 2025, because I attended Lofty Heights conference. And when I took a picture, my tummy was big. It looked like I was pregnant. I was like, oh my god, no, 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 I need to do something about this. So I spoke to my boyfriend at the time, the guy I broke up with. Yes, I spoke to him and he gave me this really nice app for my working out, and I was using the app. Sometimes I'm consistent, other times I stop. So it was like start and stop, start and stop, start and stop, but it wasn't like every day. Yeah, so I'm not happy that I was not consistent with exercising. And one of the friends that are no longer in my life, she also even paid money for me to start gymming. But at that time, no be who don't chop they go gym. At that time, I was really low on cash and that money was used for other things. So yeah, I did not exactly work out the way I wanted to, and my stomach is still big, unfortunately. I sold my gen, no, because we always had like, and suddenly our life got bad. It did not go well at all. I really wish I still had that gen. But okay, so that's for the things that didn't go well in 2025. So let's talk about things from 2025 that I want to carry into 2026. Number one, mutation series. Mutation series last year was really tough. Like I already mentioned, hosting an event in Lagos is not easy. So this year, we'll probably do like the online version, or we'll do the campus tour. I don't know how any of this is going to happen, but that was the idea that God gave me last year about going to different campuses and hosting a mutation event. So we'll have like mutation series, Lasso edition, mutation series, OAU edition, mutation series, Unilag edition, mutation series, Yaba Tech edition. But the logistics for that, I really don't know. I really don't know. But like, yeah, I really want to keep doing mutation series in 2026. And that's in mutation 26. Mutation 26 has to happen this year. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I trust God to help me with that. My mental health courses, I want to continue from where I stopped this year. I also want to keep researching scholarship opportunities for studying abroad and applying. The fact that I'm now a student at Miva Open University does not mean that if I see a fully funded scholarship for undergraduates in the abroad, that I'm not going to jump on that offer. I am so going to jump on it. I want to continue with my podcast. I'm so proud of myself that I'm actually recording this episode. This is currently like 1:52 a.m. and I've been recording for almost an hour now. So I'm really glad that I started out again, and I hope to continue very strong this year. I hope to travel to more countries, ECOWAS, or attend fully funded conferences overseas. I actually had one conference this January that I was supposed to attend. I think it's happening on the 8th of January. Neoteric Summit is happening in, is it Dubai? No, I don't think it's Dubai. Forgotten where it's happening, but I think it's an Asian, it's happening in an Asian country. Yeah, but it's not fully funded. So if I had money, I would have gone to that event because I already received my letter of invitation and all of that. I want to do more of that in 2026. I want to attend less Nigerian conferences and more fully funded conferences abroad. I'm manifesting it. I'm throwing it into the universe, and I hope it comes true. I want to continue learning French on a daily basis. Beyond Duolingo, I want to do more of. There's this app I got. Is it Prim Sloa? I don't know the right pronunciation, but people say the app is really good. I hope to explore more of it. I want to watch French films. So instead of watching Nollywood, God deliver me from Nollywood, and also deliver me from Hollywood medical dramas. Yes, I've delivered myself from now. I've deleted the app. So yes, I want to watch French films. I want to read French books. I want to listen to French podcasts. I think all of these things will help me to understand the language more instead of just isolated learning on an app. I want to also continue learning script writing. I want to go deeper with my relationship with God. I want to study the word more. I want to worship more. I want to pray more, because trust me, there's nothing more beautiful in the world than having a relationship with your maker. I want to speak at more events, especially in-person events in 2026. I really want to do this. Like every month, I want to have at least one event that I'm speaking at, and God will help me make my dreams come true. Last year, I joined the community of poets. It's called Poetry Village. I want to attend more Poetry Village meetings this year, 2026. I want to go to church every Sunday, although I already missed the first Sunday in 2026. I want to stay celibate. I already mentioned this one. I want to have a stable monthly income. I want to exercise every day. I want to double down on my areas of focus for 2026, which are my school, my business, my non-profits, and content creation. I don't want new ideas to distract me this new year. So let's go to my goals. What are my goals for 2026? My goals for 2026 are they are they are categorized into four major buckets. Number one is my school. Start my BSc Public Health program at Miva Open University. I already did that. Second goal for that is that I want to finish my first year with a 4.5 GPA. I know when I mentioned this to my friend, she was like, "You did not say 5.0." Yeah, I know I did say 5.0 because I have other things I'm doing. I'm not a full-time student. Maybe when I was a full-time student, yeah, I could say 5.0. But so far, I've looked at the coursework, I've looked at the courses I have for my first semester year one, and these are some courses I had already done back in University of Port Harcourt. So I don't think it's going to be such a hard work. Although my my public health Miva mentor already told me that it's not business as usual, so I have to study. So yes, I'm going to be dedicating 2 hours every day to study my coursework. So help me God. On the business side of things, I'm not going to set a very, very big, ambiguous business goal anymore, but I really hope I'm able to scale my business to 1K monthly recurring income by December 2026. I really, really hope I'm able to do that. So help me God. I want to win a business grant in the coming year. So I'm going to be looking out for a lot of opportunities like that. For my non-profit, I want to host Mutation 26, I want to host Mutation Series Camp Tours, and I want to win an NGO grant. For my content creation, I want to build my YouTube channel. Honestly, I really thought that this first episode on the podcast would be you guys would be seeing my face. That was the goal, but I just realized that I just realized that me saying I wanted to do that was just going to be another excuse for me to keep procrastinating when I could just pull up my recorder and start yapping. So I decided that, you know what, let me just go the old audio way and, kickstart this podcast again. But God helping me, I really want to, have the podcast in both video and audio. I want to build my YouTube channel. I want to build my podcast. I want to build my Medium blog. I want to build my Substack newsletter. And I want to grow my Facebook page. Other goals I would like to achieve includes learning how to drive and getting my driver's license. This was a goal from last year that I never still achieved. Learning French to C1 proficiency, learning script writing, winning several global opportunities. Trust me, this has been on my mind. And then the last conference I attended this year, which was NFEC, Nigerian Female Entrepreneurs Conference, shout out to Dr. A. She broke it down. Dr. A talked a lot about all the global opportunities she has won, the grants, the scholarships, the fellowships. And I was like, you know what, Ma, it is me and you. Next year, I'm going to win at least 1 or 2 global opportunities. So yeah, that's like my goal. I want to get more speaking engagements. I want to also explore a new side hustle. So this new side hustle is all about event hosting and compare. I want to be a compare for both in-person and virtual events. This is something I've always done by the side anyway, but not something I have promoted a whole lot of. So I hope to, create a business flyer for it and start pushing it out and see if I get people who need my services and hopefully make money from that as well. I want to eat healthy and stay fit in 2026. So those are my goals for 2026. So if you've listened to this podcast up to this point, I want to say a very big thank you for listening. And I really, really hope that 2026 is a wonderful year for you. I really hope you're able to achieve everything you set your heart to do. And I really hope that you become the best version of yourself in this new year. So I don't know how your 2025 was. I hope 2025 treated you well. I'll also love to hear what went well, what did not go well, and what your goals for 2026 are. So if you'd like to share with me, feel free to drop them in. I don't know, does Spotify still have comments? But depending on where you listen to the podcast, if there's a comment section, feel free to drop them in the comments. And if there's no comments, feel free to email me. I would love to hear from you. Okay? All right. You can also DM the podcast IG page. We have an IG page, only needs podcast _ on IG. You can also DM me there, and I'll be glad to hear from you. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening to my podcast. I hope you have an amazing, amazing, amazing year ahead. Wishing you a very wonderful year. May all your heart desires come true, and may you become the best version of yourself. Happy, happy, happy new year, my beautiful sisters. See you in the next episode. Bye, guys.